My husband Fred and I were leaders of the team, and we prayed that the gifts that we have here at the Springs would meet the needs that they have. They wanted a team to come down to do health screenings for the children in the Global Fingerprints program, which is a child sponsorship program of Reach Global that works through the local church. We really saw God work. You know, my husband and I, we didn't know who would want to go, and God really put together the perfect team. We had doctors, nurses, people who are very experienced in doing crafts with children, and he even brought the perfect driver to drive us around Panama City, and it was just an amazing trip. And we look forward. This is going to be an ongoing mission for our church, at least a 3-year commitment, maybe more. So we will be going back to Panama again next year about the same time, February. So we would love for more people to get involved in this mission.
My name is Anna. I went on my first missions trip to Panama with the team, and I think the one thing that I learned the most was it is hard not to speak the language that they do, except the one language that you do know is love, and they're all eager to hear it, they're all eager to know it, and that's the one thing that I took from it, is to love.
I had the privilege to be a member of the team that went to Panama, and it was a great experience. My understanding going down there initially was that we were to encourage and come alongside and help the existing missionary team. We really had an opportunity to see what God was doing through the Global Fingerprints program. We went down as a medical mission team. I'm not a doctor. I am an engineer, and they had no needs for engineers down there, so I just helped with the setup, and I got to play a lot of soccer. Realized I am very old when you can't keep up with those little guys, but it was a lot of fun. There was one little guy in particular, his name was Viron, and I just couldn't stop him from laughing. He giggled all the time. We chased each other around. I wound up diving into a concrete block wall. That was a lot of fun. Fortunately, I did not need medical attention. I did actually learn how to drive in Panama, as Kim mentioned. That was quite an experience. They don't drive in Panama the way we do here. They have no street names, no street numbers, and no what we would call common courtesy. They're very likable people, and they're not angry at you when you cut in front of them, but that's just the way they drive. So I had to get very aggressive and had to learn how to re-drive when I got back to Springfield. So I had a great trip. I think it's a great ministry to be involved in. I'm glad that the Springs is involved with this ministry, and that we'll be taking a trip down there again next year. And I'm looking forward to that.
I am not a medical person. I used to be a teacher, and I work with MOPS at our church, so really it was a good fit for the team. My husband Kyle is a physician. He got to join the team going down helping with the kid checkups for Global Fingerprints, and I got to go along using my experience with MOPS to touch the lives, hopefully, and show God's love to the moms and to the kids there while they were waiting for their checkups, and maybe after they were done if they had a little time before they needed to leave. And so what I got to do was to look into some crafts, some projects. We used a project we had actually done with our MOPS group earlier this fall, where we used a beautiful painting that our friend April painted, and we glued some craft sticks to it. And ideally, those craft sticks would have been stained. But you know, I'm a mom of 4, and before we left, I didn't have time to stain them. So I felt a little guilty bringing these plain craft sticks down to glue instead of a beautifully stained project. But God showed me, in my weakness, He is strong, because what those moms and grandmas did is as they glued those craft sticks onto this beautiful picture that in Spanish said, "Jesus loves me," they didn't have a stained stick to just glue, but they had a plain stick. And what woman after woman did was write her name or her children's names on that craft stick. So when she gets home, she hangs it on her wall and she sees "Jesus loves me" with her name and with her children's names. And God is so much bigger than my inability to stain 300 sticks. He took my weakness and made it into a strength. Another favorite memory was we took Polaroid pictures of the kids, and they got to make their own little frames to take home. A lot of them didn't have pictures of themselves, and it was so much fun to look at their pictures and to tell them that they were beautiful and that they were treasured. And that's my prayer as I think of the people of Panama, is that what the people saw in our team was that we saw the people there. We saw the kids, we saw their moms, we saw, you know, the few dads or grandpas that showed up. And that in seeing them, we could share God's love with them, that not only do we see them, but God sees them, and God sees them as precious in His sight.